Alright, so next up in good healthy cooking, but still super simple meal prep type food. To go with our slaw, we have our main course, which is chicken boobs. So, first thing that you want to do whenever you're getting ready to do these baked chicken boobies is you want to preheat your oven. No excuse, just preheat the damn oven. There's no reason not to. Just do it. It takes my oven, I don't know, 5, maybe 10 minutes to get up to temp. Maybe 10, but more like 5. And we're just doing 350. Honestly, you could do a higher temperature if you want to cook it a little. I mean, it will cook it faster. But just do 350. Just preheat the dang thing. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. This is just super simple food that's good. You can do it meal prep, and we're just making a week worth of lunches essentially. So, next tip is get a good knife. You know, this is a Dexter chef's knife. You can buy these at a restaurant supply store. Most of them are happy to sell to the general public. At least most of them I've ever been to or seen. It's like $16, and it's. I mean, this is the knife in pretty much any kitchen you walk into. You know, it's I think this is a classic French chef. I don't actually know, but you know, I worked in a lot of kitchens, and every kitchen I worked in had this knife. You know, big, sharp. These things are super sharp. And to keep them sharp, you really don't have to sharpen them very often, as long as you use your honing rod. And this is not a sharpening rod; it's a honing rod. And all that it does is your edge gets a little bit curled, gets a little bit bent, because it's a very, very thin piece of metal, and you know, if you're moving your knife around, it's going to get a little bent. So this just straightens it out. That's all it does, is at a, I mean, you can see it with the eye, but at an almost microscopic level, it just straightens out the edge. So just, you know, couple quick passes. That's about it. You can kind of rub your fingers along it, see if you knocked off any steel, etc. And then that keeps your knife sharp and ready. And that's, you know, just have a good, sharp, quality knife. You know, it doesn't have to be an expensive, fancy one. In fact, most of the expensive ones that you see at a place like Walmart aren't very good. Like, you buy a $50 knife at Walmart, and it's not going to be as good as this $16 knife that you buy from an actual pro shop, from an actual restaurant supply store. So, open up my chicken here. One of the tricks to good chicken breasts is trim your chicken breasts. Just trim your chicken breasts, right? So you're not wasting the pieces that you're trimming off, right? Don't throw those away. Save them. But what you're looking for is, you see all this connective tissue, right? These bits here. This chicken fat is very flavorful, good stuff, by the way. But you're just going to trim that kind of stuff off of it, so you really have just a super simple breast. You know, like that bit right there. Basically any of that extra connective tissue. Kitty, litter paws, go away. The same for you. So I just trim that off. I put it back in that thing there. We're going to save that. That stuff's awesome for like making soup and stuff out of. So I just trim it off. I don't try to be too super exact. Kitty, hey. I don't try to be too super exact. I just want to make sure that any of that extra connective tissue is off. There's often some of the rib cage on the side, you know, a little cartilage you'll find, especially on this cheaper Walmart chicken breast. This is about 5 pounds, by the way. This one was pretty clean, pretty easy to go. But that's it. Just trim off, you know, that extra connective tissue, and a little bit of that extra fat, and save that stuff. You take this stuff, chop it up. Perfect for making soup out of. That's the number one thing that I use to make some really awesome chicken soup that I'm going to teach you guys how to make with, probably in the next video. Alright, so the other thing that I always do for my chicken breasts whenever I bake them, whenever I grill them, basically whenever I'm just doing whole chicken breasts, is I don't actually do them whole. I cut them in half this way. So this might take a little bit of practice, but it's really not that hard. Don't overthink it. Just do a cut, right in between it, where that biggest part is. You're not trying to split it exactly 50-50. You're just trying to take off, you know, just split it about in half, so that you end up with 2 halves of approximately equal thickness. That's it. All right, and then we're going to take that, put it in our pan. That's it. right? So I do that for the rest of this chicken. Okay, yeah, here's a good one, for example, one that really needs trim, like really needs trim. So we've got this bit here. I'm just take that whole thing. Hey, hey, hey! Fuck off from here. This ain't for you. It's my kitchen and it's dirty, get over it. Alright, so take that whole thing off, save it, again, soup. And then here's another great example. This side definitely has that rib cage cartilage. And I'm just cut that whole thing off. Bam. Save it for soup. Oh, there's a tiny bit left on the end there. Sometimes these ends, like, they get real thin, so I'll just cut those off and put those in the soup pile. Easy peasy, right? There's our chicken breast. Sort of the trick to doing that slice it in half is start with the top side, and you don't want your hand like this or like this. You know, just hold it steady there. Sharp knife. Just start cutting it, and you see, separates. It looks good, and then just wiggle your knife gently back and forth. If a gentle slide isn't slicing the chicken, your knife's dull, right? You need to sharpen your knife. Take it somewhere to get it sharpened if you don't feel like doing it yourself. But always just try the honing rod first, because if it's a good quality knife that was properly sharpened once, unless you're beating the hell out of it, then it probably just needs honed. It probably doesn't need a full sharpen. As long as it was properly sharpened, at least once, and you're not just beating the hell out of it. So again, trim the chicken breast. You don't have to be super precise. This one's kind of frayed and messed up, so I'm just going to trim all that off. Don't see any of that rib cartilage on this one. Yeah, a little bit of that chicken fat, which is, awesome. So good in that soup. But in this particular recipe, it's not like it's gonna hurt. You could just throw these straight in the pan and cook them. It's just not going to be as good. And they're not going to cook as evenly if you do that. That's it. Bloop. Bloop. I'm just going to do all 5 pounds of this chicken, just like this. Just trim the boobies. Doesn't have to be super exact. Yeah, by the time it's trimmed, it's definitely not going to be 5 pounds. It's going to be closer to 4 by the time I get all the, that rib cartilage off and all that fun stuff. But still, it's a lot of chicken. It's good for a week's worth of lunches is essentially what we're making with this chicken and slaw. Didn't do so good of a job on that one, but it doesn't really matter. So again, it's all just getting put in here and baked. Alright. Down. Kind of running out of room in this cat. Quit it. Something sanitary, blah, blah, blah. Don't let your cat eat the raw chicken. You know what you're doing. It's your life, It's your cat. It's your whatever. Boop. So at this point, I'm really starting to crowd my pan. I shouldn't do that. You don't want your food crowded in the pan. You want the heat to be able to evenly distribute it. You don't want the moisture to be pooling anywhere. But I don't have a bigger pan, and I want to cook all of this, so I'm going to crowd the pan. Get over it. I'm over here like, oh, trim your chicken, and then I crowd it in the pan. Yeah. Do I contradict myself? I suppose I do. For I contain multitudes, or whatever Walt Whitman said. Trim that bit off there. Okay. So, slice that all the way through. Boop. Pack it down. Alright. There's that. So all of this, right? All of this, that's about 1/5 of that package. Maybe even a little more because, I could trim closer if I really wanted to. But again, this is perfect for soup because by the time you boil it up, all of this stuff is going to be, the fat's going to melt into the soup. The cartilage is going to break down. This is so good for soup. Yeah, so saving that for soup. Next thing is seasoning. So, seasoning. season your damn food. Use as much as you want. Use what you want. For me, I love this Old Canadian steak rub. Some people call it a Montreal steak rub. I can buy these jars of this stuff for like $4, $5 from a local supermarket chain. And this local blend that they make, well, I don't know how local it actually is, but this blend that they make, this is like my favorite all-purpose meat seasoning. I mean, they call it a steak rub. It's good on everything. I'll use it to season vegetables, chicken, beef, pork. Hey. Anywho, season heavily. It's baked chicken. It needs flavor. Like, season it heavily. And this stuff has like nice chunks of salt in it. Nice big chunky salt. Right? And then I know I laid it all out just to toss it, but whatever. We're just doing this all in this pan. No need to dirty another bowl for this. Yeah, you could use the bowl that you used to make the slaw once you got the slaw out of it, obviously. But yeah, that's it. Just that nice and coated with that seasoning. Seasoning all over. Right? Boom, boom. And then redistribute it so it's laying flat. You just want it to lay flat is the main thing, Once it's laying flat, it's gonna cook pretty darn evenly. Yeah, definitely a crowded pan. I've got about one chicken breast too many in here. But you can kind of make it fit, kind of push the thinner pieces together. Just make sure the thicker ones have plenty of room. Yeah. So that looks pretty good. There's that. Alright, next thing you're going to do, I'm going to rinse my hands. Should I have actually done like a full 30-second wash with soap and all that instead of just rinse? Yeah, absolutely. Don't do as I say, not as I do. This is Dad's dirty kitchen. It's dirty. The cat was eating the chicken, for Christ's sake. I don't care. It's going in the oven. It can be cooked. Don't take health advice from me. I'm just showing you how I do it. So, yeah. Get a piece of foil. All right. Boom. Foil. Wow. Yep. Lock that moisture in so your chicken doesn't dry out. All right. Roll that foil up on it. I know somebody's like, oh, couldn't you do a marinade, or where's, you need to add oil. Yeah, there's a lot of things you could do to it. I'm just keeping this super simple, super cheap and easy. Hey, it's not for you. I feed you your kibbles and your treats and things. And raw meat from time to time. A few times a week, honestly. Probably way more than necessary. Oh, he hates his cat. Whatever, fuck you. So this just goes right into the oven. So about 30 minutes, but I'm over here like, oh, the cat's gonna nibble on a blah, 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 but I'm also obsessive about actually temping things. So get a good meat thermometer. You can get a good one for $10 at Walmart. You can get an even better one for not much more than that at a restaurant supply store. Get a decent meat thermometer, a decent digital one, and stick it in the thickest part of the meat, and make sure that for chicken you're hitting that 165. That's it. It's not complicated. Just make sure that you get it up to temp. This goes right in the oven. Am I poking holes in the foil? No. Should I? I really want that moisture trapped in because it's super lean. It's just chicken. I'm probably out of camera frame. It's super lean. It's just chicken breast. I didn't add any extra oils or moisture to it. Now, granted, this cheap stuff has, that, it may contain up to 10% chicken broth or whatever the fuck they put in this stuff for the cheapo Walmart bulk 5-pound packages. But it's going to be good. It's going to be flavorful. because I seasoned it. Just season it, you know? I mean, heck, if at a bare minimum you apply salt, pepper, garlic, salt, pepper, garlic, boom, winning combination. A little powdered onion, maybe a little paprika, some red chili flakes, cardamom. You want to go get into the herbs, you know, thyme. Thyme is so good. Sage, rosemary, you know, all that fun stuff. Whatever you like, whatever you got. Minimum salt, pepper, garlic. I like this Canadian rub, and I'll tell you, that even says what's in it. Salt, spices, dehydrated garlic, oleoresin, I don't know what that is, paprika, silicon dioxide to prevent caking. Okay, well, I guess spices is kind of undefined, but, you know, I see like some, I think those are like cardamom seeds in there. Definitely black pepper and red pepper flakes. I think there's some paprika. Google it. Whatever. Or just find what you want. All right, into the oven it goes. I'll see you guys in about 30 minutes. Oh, this is my oven, by the way. Yeah, this is Dad's dirty kitchen. My kitchen's kind of dirty. Get over it.